From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, July 2nd, 2015. Silver is trading at $15.54 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,158 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $260. Antiwar.com reports the civilian death toll in Yemen's ongoing war continues to rise, with 18 civilians reported slain in the southern port city of Aden yesterday during overnight rocket fire by the Shiite Houthis against neighborhoods under the control of the former Hadi government's loyalists. 13 pro-Hadi fighters were also killed. Aden has been the main site of the ground fighting in Yemen in recent weeks, with the Saudi military pounding the city and dropping supplies to the Hadi forces in hopes of turning the tide against the Houthis. The Saudis say their goal is to reinstall President Hadi, who resigned in January. With so much of the fighting centered in Yemen around densely populated cities, the Saudi airstrikes as well as the Houthi fire on pro-Saudi forces have both produced extreme numbers of civilian casualties, with human rights groups warning that the war is rife with war crimes. Perhaps the biggest problem, however, is the Saudi naval blockade, as Yemen imports some 90% of its food, and those imports have slowed to a trickle since the war began. The UN yesterday described the situation as a level 3 humanitarian crisis, the last level above a full-scale famine, which the country seems to be moving inexorably towards. With no sign the Hadi forces will agree to a new peace talk, it seems only a matter of time before the deaths from starvation far outstrip the deaths from fighting itself. For over 35 years, Robertson Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. UPI reports a Homeland Security Advisory Council report published Tuesday by the Los Angeles Times says internal corruption threatens the nation's largest law enforcement agency. Lethargic investigations of internal abuses and a vulnerability to a systemic corruption by drug smugglers and other criminals are the basis for the Council's recommendation that the U.S. Customs and Border Protection add approximately 350 criminal investigators to its current staff of 200, a 175% increase in order to help mitigate internal corruption and the use of unnecessary force against migrants. The 29-page report, composed by the independent counsel that reports to Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson, attacks the agency's propensity to shoot unarmed or non-threatening individuals. It suggests that officials review their policies and prioritize the preservation of human life, as hundreds of shootings by Border Patrol agents remain unaccounted for. The report reads, the exercise of force must be consistent with the U.S. Constitution and laws and in compliance with sound policy based on a model of law enforcement best practices. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports Amtrak has asked a U.S. judicial panel to consolidate lawsuits before a single judge in Philadelphia over the May 12th train derailment that killed 8 people and injured more than 200. The railroad on Tuesday joined many plaintiffs in requesting that the U.S. judicial panel on multi-district litigation appoint U.S. District Judge Legrome Davis, who already oversees 16 cases stemming from the accident, to handle all 22 existing lawsuits, plus numerous others it expects to be filed. Passengers from Train 188 have sued Amtrak in Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey over injuries linked to the May 12th derailment, which occurred when the train left the track along a northbound curve in Philadelphia after traveling at more than twice the speed limit. The consolidation of similar lawsuits can make litigation more efficient and less expensive. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.